For me, I was like, well, everyone has a mortgage. We just, why don't we just live more today, spend more today, and we'll just have a mortgage till we're 50 or 60. What's the big deal? But once we dug down, and I don't care about the numbers, I care about the emotional aspect and what it meant to do this, to pay off the mortgage. It meant that Andy would come home happy from work. I would be able to stay home with the kids.
Our average mortgage payment each month was $1,900 without any additional principal payments. But on some months when I would receive an additional paycheck or commissions, we would make upwards of a $6,000 monthly payment. So we just got aggressive with it and continued to pay it down. The mortgage principal when we bought the home in 2013 ended up being $195,000. We ended up putting down $155,000, so about 40% around there. And the term was a 15-year. We wanted the aggressive nature of a 15-year so that more of our payment would be going towards the principal each month. And the percentage loan, or the interest rate that we got was 3%, so a really great interest rate. And it was pretty low at the time. But with all those things combined, we set ourselves up to make some additional principal payments each month and work together to pay it off. Nicole and I were doing the 50-50 path, and then certain years we made a lot more money, but we continued to live on that $60,000. So for example, in 2012, we made over $200,000, and it was a really exciting year for us, but we didn't really increase our lifestyle inflation. We didn't have a lot of lifestyle inflation that year. We decided, hey, let's keep on living on that 60, and we'll use all that money to save for our next home. We had gotten to a point in 2017 where we saw the end of the road, and it was a little faster than the 5 years that we had planned, but
we were like, we have to do it before New Year. We have to do it before.
And so we took a big chunk of our emergency fund out, about $20,000, to pay it off completely, and became mortgage free at the end of 2017.
My name's Robert Lee.
I'm Reshawn Lee.
And we paid off our mortgage in 5 years. We bought the house for $300,000. We put 10% down, and the mortgage was about $26.
Yeah, about $26.40 was the monthly payment on a 15-year mortgage.
She managed the money. So we put down 10%. That was the most we could put down at the time. I would say, if you can afford it, put it down. And if you can afford the 15%, the 15-year loan instead of the 30, that's going to knock out tons of interest. So, yeah. And we knew that, and we didn't want to pay interest. We hate paying interest. We hate paying money on our money, right? So yeah. We made sure we'd rather take the hit up front and get a 15-year instead of a long 30-year where the bank's getting way more money from us. The way we did it was we owned our first starter house. We moved out into this house, and as the market went up and we saw that it had equity, we ended up pulling the equity out.
So essentially, we became real estate investors by turning our first home into a rental.
Yes.
And due to the tenants paying off that mortgage payment for us and the increase in the real estate market over the last 6 or so years here in the DFW area, we were really able to capitalize on that. Took the equity out and used it to pay for our primary residence.
So when I started out planning, I was using the 4% rule, which just means you can withdraw 4% of your investments each year from your portfolio and live on it. So if you have $1 million, you could spend $40,000 per year. I thought that I would need a lot more than $40,000 per year. So I had estimated I needed $2.5 million Some of that was to pay off the house, some of that was to pay for kids' college, and then the rest of it was for living expenses and to be really conservative. And over the years, I figured out that I wasn't spending anything close to $80,000 or $100,000 per year. I was spending a lot less, $30,000 or $40,000 per year after I take out the mortgage payment. I think focus on the big three spending areas that pretty much everyone has, and those are your transportation, so car, however you get around, your housing, focusing on keeping either your mortgage payment or your rent as low as possible, house hacking if you need to, if you really want to get a head start, roommates or buying a house and having some roommates to rent out the rooms in there and help let them pay your mortgage for you. And then food is the third main spending item most people have, groceries, dining out. So being intentional in terms of what you're buying, and are you going out to eat just for fun or because you're too lazy to cook a meal? So focusing on that and dialing in those numbers can really save you a whole lot of money. And it doesn't have to be deprivation, it could just be intentional living.
Invest in you. Ready, set, grow. CNBC and Acorns.